Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider, the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Private alongside Natalie Poole, and Coach got a lot to cover today. And let's start off of last week's midweek doubleheader. Played Alcorn State and took care of business there.
We did. Had a good showing there. At times it takes a little bit of time to adjust to pitching speeds, things like that. But I thought that we did a good job of adjusting. We controlled the game on the other side of it, on the pitching side of it, and so did a great job of getting a couple wins in the midweek.
Do those midweek games like that kind of scare you as a coach because you're coming off the road series at Wichita State? You got a big one against a perennial championship contender in USF over the weekend, and you don't want to overlook a team like Alcorn because they definitely, it's a big game for them to come to Memphis and can sneak up on you.
Absolutely. I think in some aspects, they don't have too much to lose in that situation. For us, we lose a lot if we lose those games. And so the midweeks are very important. We know we're going to face some tough contenders on the weekend. We need to pick up wins in the midweek, and we need to make sure that we are preparing for what we're going to see over the weekend.
Coming back this weekend against USF, again, as I mentioned, they're usually one of the top 4 teams in the league. They're fighting for championships, fighting for NCAA regionals. You get a game out of it. You salvage the final game of that series, which was huge for you.
It was. Right now, they're sitting number 1 right now in our league, and we were the first win to be able to get against them. And so I was definitely pleased about that. It felt like at times we could have done a little bit better from the mound as well as our offense. Our offense, to me, struggled probably the most, just making adjustments on their pitching. And so, finally we were able to salvage the win on Sunday. It was a good win for us, an important win for us, and keeps us in the hunt. There's 3 teams that are at the same record as us right now. And so the top 5 teams are all within a game or 2 of one another.
Coach, you're going to have one midweek game this week. It's going to be Belmont. It's going to be Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
It is. Look forward to hosting them. Right now, I think they're 20-7. They're doing a really nice job. They've got some good pitching on their staff, and so should be a great opponent to face before heading into a conference series on the weekend. And
you're going to go back on the road now, back into conference play. You're going to go to East Carolina. Familiar with that a little bit, especially even your underclassmen that are sophomores because you played the conference tournament there last year.
Absolutely. They're a team. There's not really a team that's really out of it right now, like meaning everybody can beat somebody. And so we've got to go up there and have a good series and pitch well, do all the things that we need to do. We need to be able to attack from an offensive perspective, and we just need to play the game the way that we need to pick up those wins.
And these conference games are very valuable. Obviously, every conference game in any league is valuable, but you don't have the big 30-game schedule in the American, so it just makes them that much more important.
Absolutely. We now have 8 teams total, so we have 21 conference games, and every single one of them matters. The great thing about it is we know we're going to be facing some great competition. It helps our RPI if we do well against our opponents, but we definitely need to pick up every win that we can, especially if we want to be in contention.
Coach, we're not going to get to visit with you next week because you're going to be on the road, and it's going to be a kind of a neat game. You're going to play in-state rival Tennessee, a perennial national title contender. They're off most of the times in the World Series. You're going to play them on a neutral field in Columbia. Kind of a neat deal they've got there. Not just between you and the Volunteers, they got some JUCO games there. It's kind of a showcase for the state.
It is. They call it the MidState Classic. It's a nice place in the middle of the state to be able to pull some teams in. Their community in Columbia, Tennessee has done a fantastic job of marketing this game, and I believe they've sold around 3,000 tickets. It's going to be in front of a great crowd. And it'll be nice to play Tennessee. It's been probably 6 years since we've played them last, and so it ought to be a really good midweek game for us. And then from there, we leave the next day to go to Central Florida. So we're going to be on the road quite a bit once we head out this Thursday.
Could be a really big week for you. I know it's going to be difficult because you're going to be on the road. You can grab some series wins, a couple of wins here or there, good showing against Tennessee. You're going to be sitting good here. Because you're getting kind of close here to getting to that stretch run toward conference tournament.
We definitely are. After next weekend, we're going to be over halfway, and we'll just have a few weekends left and before the conference tournament.
Can you get a sense for the team now that you're past that halfway mark? I know last week we talked a little about, and they're kind of talking a little bit, but do you see that sense of, I don't know if you want to use the urgency at this point, but do you see that sense of, okay, it's within our grasp?
Absolutely, and I think that the girls know how important each game is, and I think that they're approaching it that way. Anytime we've picked up a loss, it's been truly disappointing, and I think at this point in the season to only have 10 losses says a lot about our team. However, we need to still be racking up those wins to make sure that we keep our win-loss differential really high and keep us in contention to be able to be considered at the end of the year.
It's funny, I don't know if you use this formula. I've heard coaches talk about it in baseball, softball. If you can get to, get to 15 before you lose 5, get to 20 before you lose 10. If you can get to 30 before you lose 15, you're in good shape. And right now, you're ahead of that curve.
We are, and we need to stay there. So, we just can't falter at this point. We've got to play strong. We got to stay tough. And sometimes there are moments of fatigue with the grind of our games. We're 36 games in, and so, you start to see a little bit of that. But we've got to stay focused and keep grinding and keep moving forward and not settle.
Coach, sounds good. Best of luck on the road.
And thank you.
That is head coach Natalie Poole. I'm Jeff Brightwell with the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.